However he got it, he used it and made millions off of it that helped him be a billionaire.
Have he got it, he utilized it and made millions off of it that assisted him with being an extremely rich person. And afterward, he going to get him back with nothing in the tank, my life. Is in some cases you need to truly go with that choice in your stomach. Envision the music Big Shot behind terrible kid records. Seeing puffy brushes, the world realizes him better as Diddy dropping a stunner declaration that has left Jaws on the floor that is squarely in a move that is both unforeseen and emotional. Diddy has surrendered all distributing freedoms to his previous Cygnus. Now this wouldn't be your ordinary Hollywood information on the off chance that it weren't grasping with foundation show. Would it in this story it's trickling? And that was all there was to it, be straightforward with it. And he can't be straightforward with it. Hey everybody. And welcome back to Celeb Live Station. Cast your psyche back, assuming that you will to the primes of awful kid records. We're talking the 1990s, when craftsmen like Famous Huge overwhelmed the wireless transmissions. Currently, what's especially attractive about this choice is the name that stands tall at the center of attention, Biggie, on the off chance that industry murmurs are anything to go by this. Maybe Diddy's endeavor to fix up past strains with Iggy's mom, Violetta Wallace, she's been basic. And as it should be about Diddy hold on the privileges that many accept weren't all his. I don't have the foggiest idea about the famous B.I.G. I know Christopher, I truly know Christopher. And discussing timing, could we at any point discuss how this move by Diddy advantageously falls not long before the 30th commemoration of Awful Kid Records? Is this a triumph of unadulterated veritable regret? We'll allow you to conclude you don't believe it's certified. You think Ko-Fi is simply doing it for his picture presently distributing privileges aren't just about paper and ink, the moneymaker of the music business. Those freedoms figure out who gets sweet eminences from the hits we as a whole love. By clutching them, Diddy has been forced to bear some quite cruel analysis. Recollect when Mace, one of Terrible Kid's own, took a poke at Jingle for gaining by Big Deal's misfortune oof. Then there's Imprint Curry, another previous Terrible Kid craftsman, who implied that these return freedoms may be well useless contention. It appears to be Diddy's center name should be only that it wasn't enormous on the grounds that he didn't be able to spending on his cash Craig Mac. But lost the mark who is wee dark loot, didn't be able to burn through none of his cash. We should turn briefly to a more grave note, the lamentable death of Big Deal. Right up till now it remains covered in secret murmurs and incalculable paranoid fears. Some of them even allude to Diddy's contribution. It's the sort of stuff that Hollywood films are made of anyway. All through this commotion, one voice proceeds with its journey for equity. Violetta Wallace, advancing her Netflix narrative about her child. She helps the world to remember Big Deal's unrivaled ability and knowledge testing anybody who try to depict him in any case. Yet to genuinely get a handle on the quintessence of this continuous drama, we need to turn around the pages of time to 1993. It was then that a youthful scene brushes established Terrible Kid Records. The world was at this point to see the juggernaut it would become. And at its steerage, close by Diddy, stood a transcending figure, the infamous Huge. It's unquestionable that Big Deal's brilliant ascent assumed a urgent part in establishing the mark status in music history. Enter Violetta Wallace, Big Deal's persevering mother. She has been out and out a lioness. With regards to safeguarding her child's inheritance in the past, she's clashed with Diddy, forewarning him about clutching freedoms she accepted were not legitimately his, and presently as Diddy makes this horrible signal, she wears a look of distrust. An insider near the Wallace Stanley referenced Violetta has forever been vocal about Diddy's expectations. She appeared excessively in commitments. Don't dazzle her any longer as we dig further the dim waters of the music business. Uncover a path of displeased specialist names like Mace, the Locks, and Imprint Curry stand apart. Repeating comparable opinions of feeling duped under Diddy's authority. Mesa's public showdowns are proven and factual. He once strikingly shouted, "How might one man take so a lot?" and leave most of us with so little yet. Maybe the most dubious of all is the shadow of allegations that Diddy gained by Big Deal's misfortune. The music business is no more bizarre to exploitative from misfortune. And Diddy has not gotten away from these charges. Recollect when 50 Penny went after him, he could not have possibly been Jingle. Without Big Deal, he's been draining that cow for quite a long time, that is correct. 50 got straight to the point. Currently, we should get a little birdie and insider from the beginning of Terrible Kid Records, who murmured in our ears that this example of Diddy guaranteeing too much was certainly not an oddball CN. Generally had an eye for the greater cut of the pie. It wasn't just about business, it was about predominance. The source uncovered now, in the midst of this disturbance quality arrangement, tossed in a curve proposing the privileges Diddy's returning may very well be useless, now a brassy case, yet coming from somebody with a profound comprehension of the business elements, and assertions lighted a plethora of discussions. I know that is totally false. Big Deal, and have no cash struggle hypothesis. It would be lacking for me to hypothesize. I would be like every other person one could ponder with all the richness and excitement. Why are distributing freedoms a particularly furious landmark in the music business? Essentially put, these privileges mean who gets compensated when a tune is played, from a tune murmuring in a curious bistro to a blockbuster film soundtrack. Each play likens to pennies and dollars coming in, so when Diddy gives up these privileges, we're possibly discussing millions. While perhaps not more over the long run, most frightening circumstance of my life. Due to the level, the degree of influence that we had, it might have gone downright horrendous. So what's the significance here for the music scene? Well, an abundance of past hits from Awful Kid Records could see a change in the progression of eminences, affecting the monetary sheets of numerous on the off chance that the freedoms are, to be sure, basically as useless as quality arrangement. Recommends the inquiry emerges, is Diddy offloading a sinking boat or making this certifiable penance? So he must look great going into it, since right now in the public's, he don't look that great, brother. And discussing signals, we should address Diddy's new cause. Benj's gifts to dark drives have been standing out as truly newsworthy. Yet here's the tea. While many commend his magnanimity, cynics keep thinking about whether this is only a passing move to fix a spoiled appearance. As Rihanna brought up in a new meeting, gifts are great, yet inspirations matter expectation. It's coming from the perfect locations now. With regards to responses, the celeb world is out and out a separated house. While some like John Legend have hailed Diddy's move as progressive, others, like 50 Penny, proceed with their flood of analysis, bringing up the supposed deception he jested so presently. He's the legend following quite a while of what come on in the midst of these polarizing. Sees there's one more component that could experience the tradition of Terrible Kid. Keeps once a titan in the business, these contentions may very well eclipse its celebrated beyond a source. Once a piece of the name's inward circle, murmured there's a ton of affection for the music, yet wounds run profound. A few craftsmen have felt binded for quite a long time on the business end. Diddy's decision could weigh farther than only the music world. Brands and colleagues might actually rethink their relationship with him. An industry insider hinted there's buzz in meeting rooms. A few patrons are nervous about whether this move spells unconventionality for Diddy in this excellent performance center of distinction, fortune, and aftermath. Diddy's new move is nevertheless one more go about. As we strip back the layers, we see a snare of cash influence and inheritance at play. And as consistently, reality presumably lies some in the middle of somewhere within the official statements. And the secretive murmurs of the grapevine. I've seen the media depict me like I'm a hoodlum, which is simply not the situation in the midst of the city lights. And the steadily changing setting of the music business, the Netflix narrative, arises as an encouraging sign. Valletta Wallace, in her constant interest to respect her child's memory, effectively advances this film. It paints Biggie in a light we've rarely seen, not a rapper, or an image of the East Coast-West Coast competition. Yet as a virtuoso, a son and a person whose effect resounded well past his fleeting past, his brief life, this narrative on the off chance that anything offers watchers an opportunity to see Biggie as his mom saw him, and maybe even revamp public discernment, yet the shadows of the past are never excessively far behind Big Deal's unfavorable downfall, has been the stuff of legends with different paranoid fears, painting a convoluted and frequently accusatory picture. The dim waters encompassing his end actually wave with questions as one insider. Let us know the way that nobody has been considered responsible adds to the secret, and the aggravation does Diddy's new choice to surrender distributing privileges.